Floor crossings need to trigger by-elections, period.
Now, before we get into it, it's important to know that this is not new. This has already been tried before. Back in 2011, the NDP put a bill amendment forward to amend Bill C-306, and this would try to correct some of the floor crossing that is happening today. Ed here did a video on this as well, so you can look at his video, but of course Pierre voted no, and obviously he's not gonna vote yes on something like this when he's the one that's benefiting from it, even if it lands a majority. And because of Pierre's very long political career, he ended up benefiting from voting that amendment down. 8 years later, the Liberal MP Leona here went over to the Conservatives, and you can see that Pierre here was holding her in quite a high regard.
Who made the decision on conscience to leave the Liberal Party about 6 or 7 months ago.
Back then, the message was, this is good conscience, but fast forward to today, and this is traitorous activity when he is no longer the beneficiary of such an amendment being voted down. And then he's had to face very hard questions like this.
Both have pointed to your leadership as issues. Michael Maw saying that he was more interested in unity than division. Is this a problem of your leadership at this point?
No, it's a problem of Mark Carney's leadership that after Canadians clearly rejected a costly Liberal majority.
As enjoyable as it is watching Pierre kind of dance around here and deflect and just try to blame everything on Mark Carney, let's talk about this e-petition up here and see what it's all about. This petition is called E-7025, and Parliament and Politics is what it's regarding, and it addresses the political affiliation and effectively addressing floor crossing. It was put forward by a Conservative, Leanne Rood, and so far it's got 32 signatures. It's pretty new. It just came out on the 18th, and today is the 20th. Let's start here. In Canada's parliamentary system, MPs are elected to represent their constituents under a party banner, but unrestricted floor crossing can erode voter trust amid rising political corruption and scandals. I mean, just saying that, like this right here is a campaign point. The rest is a valid concern. They erode their own point by putting this in there. And then the next point here is basically just saying that the Conservatives have been on the same path all along. They haven't deviated from that, but these MPs who are leaving are just going because the grass is greener. This is actually missing out on the fact that they are staying on the same path when these MPs who are leaving don't necessarily believe in that path and didn't believe in it in the first place because they thought they were going to form government. So they didn't think they were going to be sitting in Parliament arguing the same 7 things over and over and over again. Next point here is suggesting that if there's going to be a balance change between the either side of the aisle, it should be done through a mandate. I think this could be a potential argument that would be debated to amend this bill. That way, if there was going to be a majority and there was that one person like we're seeing in this situation today, then maybe this person would have to run in a by-election. But then that question becomes, is that by-election fair? Because if you get somebody that does this situation where these guys end up putting this guy in like the most conservative stronghold in the country, is that really fair to allow that situation to control whether or not a government gets a majority or not? It should probably be a full federal election, but that cost us $500 million. So this last clause here is kind of a workaround for that. Now, the last by-election that Pierre ran in, it ran about $2 million, and that's pretty expensive. So every single time we do one of these by-elections, they're not for free, right? So if we look at all of the MPs that have dropped out, including Generou, who initially wanted to go to the Liberals, I mean, we might have spent $6 million to have by-elections for these. This would allow MPs to drop out and run as independents and not have to trigger any election. Now, what happens when this has enough signatures and the time runs out? Well, this will end up on the House floor and the conversations will start. Chances are there will be a motion that will be put forward based on some of these points that we've gone over. That motion will end up on the agenda and then it'll end up getting voted on like everything else that goes through the House of Commons. And if it passes the vote, these amendments would probably take place right here in C306. Drop those comments. I'm interested to see your input on this. TikTok, mostly liberals follow me, but I'll be posting it here too on, this one that I can't say. I hope you all take care of yourselves, folks.